Hello, this is Ever Pierce with Einstein 314. And I have other social accounts. Just take a look. So, I'm not a hard person to get a hold of or locate. So, if you just now, if you don't know a whole lot about me, here's my social accounts that you can look over because I have some postings there that'll give you a better understanding who I am, what I am. And when I have a saying is, I am who I say I am. Okay, and as you can see my number on top, if you would go to paypal.me / Everett Pierce to make your $100 payment, and I'll teach you how to set up the baseline on a teaching method for the date. Now, I want to cover another aspect about numbers and numerology and stuff. So, if you've been searching the web, there's a lot of people out there proclaiming to be master numerist and everything else. And as you know, in today's society, people sling a lot of words, but they can't is a term called preponderance of the evidence. Evidence. And that's essentially what these videos is. Now, this is part 6. And I'm going to show you something that I know for a fact you didn't know about the date. And it is when I say when I set things up, I include God. So when you pay your $100 to learn this, there's so many different things yet you still need to learn. But just to get you started, that's kind of like your ante up. If you were in a poker game, there's a term called ante up. So you ante up. Now, if you try to circumvent that and you don't ante up, or you try to steal the method, just know that the polarity in which you're going to receive are going to be different, as we know with electricity, positive and negative. Now, if you pay the money, you start on the right foot, you're obviously starting with the right person, because I am the only person who can teach you things on this level. Okay. But if you don't, you want to circumvent, well, God will still teach you, but it'll be in the lost perspective or polarity. Okay, so let's talk about some basic things what we know when it comes to our life. The day. Okay, as Einstein, I'm notably for the solar year, because there were some things I wanted to prove to society about light waves. Okay, and as what we know with the solar year, there's 365 days. Now, as you advance and start learning more about numbers and energy and develop your communications with God, you're going to come to a conclusion. You're going to start realizing how everything is so perfectly synced up together in a astronomical perspective, and it's going to force you in one area. Now, when I say Earth is Noah's Ark, you're going to start thinking, hey, is Noah's Ark, is it a boat? Or let's just stand back and use our objective. Or is it something that can house many life? So, Earth is Noah's Ark. Can it be a boat? Absolutely, it was a boat. But Earth is Noah's Ark. And it has many, many life. Plants, insects, human life. Okay, so this is what we know. 365 days a year. And how's God in this? Okay, we see 7 a lot. 7 is my prime number. Now, if you say 7 times 7, okay, 7 times 7 is 49. But we don't have 49 weeks in the year. We have 52. So 7 times 7, that's 49. Then you still need 3 more weeks. 7 and a 3. 7 and 3 is a 10 factor. Okay, if you go to Vegas, or if you're gambling at a slot machine, they have a machine 777, which is like a jackpot winner. Okay, so it's got my number in there. I'm born December 7th. On my name, the last two letters, if you put them together, they look like the pi symbol. The first two letters of my last name, PI, the symbols which are used for pi, which is 3.14. Okay. Now, we know typically of a day consists of 24 hours. But if you convert that 10, 2 becomes an 8 and 4 becomes a 6. 86 or 68. I'm born in 1968. So not only are there qualities in this that's referencing to me, but there's also an element of referencing to God, because God is in everything. And if you're going to learn the right things and be on the right foot, and you want to invite God to help and be part of your teachings, versus feeling like God has abandoned you, there are ways to go about doing it. It's like a Chinese man. I may not know Mandarin, but I can at least go through the effort of knowing some basic wording. Hi, hello, goodbye. And it would tell the Chinaman that I've taken enough interest to at least take that leap of faith and learn a little bit of his language. And of course, he'll probably do the same to me with English, so we can build a better relationship. And that's essentially what you're paying, when you learn from me. When you learn how to, this method of setting up your day, you're going to open up that door between you and God and you're going to essentially you're asking God to help you understand numbers, understand the things that are happening to you and around you. Okay, so now this element of God thing. Like I said, the more you learn, the more you're going to realize, how, they say the question, does God exist? Well, you have to kind of dig in and start looking at things in its raw sense of things. And you will conclude and say, well, maybe I'm not in a position to see God in his entirety. But I don't have to see God in his entirety to know that God exists. It's like if I show you a quarter and I show you one side, do you need to see the other side to know that it's a quarter? No. You just have to see enough evidence that strongly suggests with certainty there's something bigger at play here. Okay, so we know the day consists of 24 hours. And the days actually, they have 12 and 12, AM and PM. Week, we know the week consists of 7 days. It takes 52 weeks plus 1 day to make a year. Just basic stuff. Saying, okay, well, 52 or 25. Well, there's Christmas. Christmas is on the 25th day. Okay. Now, on the other side of December, in that same position, is the 7th. So, okay, now, how does God incorporate in our month, day, weeks, and years? If you take 7.221 times 7.221, it equals 52.14284, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you take a week is 7 days. So 1 day would be equivalent to 14.28%. 14.28. Okay, so basically this number, in terms of when I say something square, so 221, if you take E equals MC square, and you advance the letter E 2 spots, it becomes a G. You advance the M 2 spots, it becomes an O. You advance the C 1 letter, C becomes a D. G-O-D to the second power. Okay, so we have the 221 factor. Now, there's a lot of 221 factors that are relating to me and God, but your skull, you have 2 eyes, you have a nose, but you have the septum in there. So the nose actually have 2 ports. 2, and then you have your mouth. That's 1 port. 221. Water, H2O. So if you're going to assign a letter or number to the element, oxygen being number 1 and hydrogen being a number 2, and you got 2 hydrogens and you got 1 oxygen. 2, 2, 1. So 7, me, God, 221. 7.221 times 7,221. So that's the closest you're going to get to 52 weeks, 0.4 or 1428. You probably didn't know that. A lot of people don't know that. Now, someone of me who's an author and a master of numbers is going to know that. Why? Because long time ago, many lifetimes ago, setting things up, setting this earth up, which is the 6th heaven, or in other words, earth, or also known as Noah's Ark. That this earth, and you say, wait a minute, everything is so synced up. Is it possible that this earth was manufactured? Is it possible that the moon that we have out there is also manufactured? Manufactured meaning that it was made by God or another higher evolution. Because, and you know, the mathematicians and the scientists, people out there, when they see everything, how it's so complex, but simply all synced up, they're going to say, wait a minute, how is that possible on the theory of things being random? And that's your key element. Is, yes, this earth was manufactured. There's a template for it. So if this earth was to blow up, supernova, another one and a moon can be put in its place, identical. And then evolution can restart over again. Okay. But the more you learn, the more you'll be convinced deep down that there's more to this plan than just random energy colliding. And, you know, if you want to show off to your friends or tell something to your friends that they don't know, tell them about 7.221 times 7.221. And 99.99% of the people out there won't even know that. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. Okay, so in the baseline that I'm charging, you know, your ante up is $100. So you're going to go to my PayPal account. PayPal me /EverettPierce, just like I have written here. You're going to ante up. You're going to set the polarity. Meaning you're asking me, you're asking God to partake in this. I'm going to teach you how to set that baseline up. And it's more geared up to teach you to understand numbers, to open up that door to communications and communicating with God and a lot of things in a beneficial way. If you don't pay me and you try to circumvent and you try to elude it, you're going to get the negative side of that polarity. And God's going to teach you too. But God's going to teach you what loss is about. Because that's essentially what you're doing to us. You're putting us at a loss. You're taking away from us. And all that we're doing is what we are trying to help you. We're trying to teach you. Okay, so there's my social accounts. When you make a payment, just text me and say, hey, I made a payment. I'm still working on the video right now, so the video will be up soon. But once I put it up there, you'll know I didn't slap this together. And just like I'm explaining here to you, there's a rhyme and reason when it comes to science. There's, formulas, there's a lot of people that are scholars of math and different courses, but they can't sit down with a piece of paper and come up with the formula or a method. A lot of people, they, in terms of math, they only know math of what was taught to them. Now, I can sit down as God's apprentice. I'm the one that learns how to put methods together, formulas together, and things that you can break it down, you can explain it, and the purpose for it. A lot of the people out there claiming to be master numerists, numerology, they can't do that. They can't sit down and create a functional, mathematical equation or formula or concept. They only know what has been taught to them. And a lot of people are teaching things that are really inaccurate. Okay, so let that be your little ace in the hole, little, if anything, a conversation breaker. It's interesting to know this aspect, because when you pay the $100 and we get started teaching you how to set up your baseline for the date, you're gonna say, "Holy crap, that I really like that." And then each and every day, and it doesn't take very long to do a basic thing. And essentially, just like your cell phone, you're calling upon God to help teach you, kind of like training wheels. It's like, God, and be patient with God, because God's going to bring things to you in a very effective and beneficial way. Now, if you don't pay me and you're about stealing and taking my ideas, well, God's going to teach you too. But prepare to understand the concept of loss. So it's your choice. People make their own choices. So you can make so it's $100. It's the best investment you can do. There's a lot of things out there that you can learn from. But there's only one of me. And this is your opportunity to learn things in a very logical and scientific way. So, this right here, a lot of people know there's 52 weeks and there's 7 days in a week and 24 hours, 365 days. It's actually 365 and some change. That's why with 52 weeks, it's 52 weeks in one day. So 52 and some change. One day, if you split up in percentage in a week, it comes to about 14.28%. So that's why 221. You'll see a lot of 221 in life, in the surrounding things around you. And the way the earth is set up, the moon's set up, the life is in the planets in America. I own everything. Okay? It's like, I own everything. But that's neither here or there. I have seventh heaven. I come here to help people in their evolution, whether they want to believe it or not. So that leap of faith is upon you. So it's your choice. If you want to set the polarity wrong and against you, that's your choice. Democracy. Or you can get on the right foot and start opening that door and communicating to God using numbers. God communicates in 1,000. I'm still learning how God communicates, and numbers is one of the prime things. So speaking of number, we got Hurricane Florence, Category 4. So anyways, I just want to point this out. We'll end it right there on this part 6. Just knowing some basic information about, you have to know some basic things, because you have to be kind of precise about how you're setting up and because it's going to determine what kind of yielding or equals yielding of the results you're going to find when you do your pyramid of numbers. So it's like, and in that way, once you know all these little quirks and ways about doing things, and then you say, "Oh, I want to do an equation that's geared towards health, or geared towards the bull market, or the lottery, or just I just want to know basic number days, you know, uh, numbers of days." So, and then you'll be more confident in yourself. It's just like this hurricane that's in the news, Florence. Having a day's heads up can make and break you. So having that little bit of insight or forewarning or caution could save you thousands of dollars. It could save your life. It could save you being injured. So it has a lot of benefits. So that's what we'll end it right there. But I just wanted to point this out to you, and also reiterate, what I'm providing to show you is the date. How I would set the date up that includes me, includes the God, and you're going to know, and you're going to have, you'll be able to explain it. So some people are going to make fun of you and they're going to think you're crazy and everything. But you're going to have a formula. You're going to be able to explain it and break it down like Charlie Brown. And you're going to know within your heart, you're pursuing something that's far greater than yourself. So between me and God and your effort, you're going to see a lot of great things. There will be some things you may not see right away. There might be some delayed things. So there's going to be a variety of benefits that you're going to see and not see. That's the quality of energy, seen and unseen. So with that, just absorb this in, pass information around, and let's get started on teaching you the right way of numbers. Godspeed.